videos on Voices of the Unheard. We are 2V Stream, a global youth media initiative, and you're keeping it ugly with me, Joe Ugly, and Necas Collins, president of Blacc Bottle, an environmental conscious business, I should say. Tonight we're going to be talking about some Black entrepreneurship, racial consciousness in business, and environmental justice. My man Necas, what's going on, man? First of all, welcome to this ugliness.
Yeah, thank you very much. Beautiful setup you got here, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the hospitality. Thank you for inviting us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, Necas, you have a good resume right here. You're the president of Blacc Bottle, and it's spelled BLACC Bottle. It's a business out of where are your headquarters?
So we are headquarters out of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay, out of Bridgeport. You're the president of the organization.
Correct. That's correct.
Understand that you have an MBA in finance and analytics intelligence.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you doing your do over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I got more on you. Bro. I got a whole page here, as you can see on you.
Yeah. No. So I was blessed. I recently graduated at the University of Bridgeport. So started out there, did my master's there. But not only that, while I was at the University of Bridgeport, I was fortunate to meet some very interesting people that love my story, love my ambition, my passion for business, and I joined their student entrepreneur center, and then through that, it really just took it by storm, and won a few accolades and start tinkering, and I start.
If you could just come in just a little on the mic, so I can
Yeah.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you. I want to make sure that the audience also. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I really just kind of took the opportunities that was given there, and I really ran with it. And I was one of the fortunate students to really launch a business out of this university. So while getting my degree, I was able to accomplish that.
So you're a young man. How old are you? You mind me asking? If you don't
No,
want to
that's
say
fine. Yeah, I'm 31.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Because some people want to keep that to themselves.
No,
you married or you got these chicks out here chasing you?
No, I'm married.
Good. All right, man. She took him off the market, ladies. So anyway, you know what's gonna happen? Yeah, right. You're gonna look over here. I'm like, yo, Joe, why you playing matchmaker for this guy?
I know, right?
Just messing with you, man. Listen, so you have this business, and I did a little follow up on the company itself. I see that you have NBA logos all over your
Product.
all over the product.
Yeah.
But before we even get into all of that, tell us about Blacc Bottle.
Yeah. So first and foremost, yeah, I came from here. I came from Jamaica, right? I came here.
Not a mercy.
Yeah. So I came here. I was fortunate again. I came here on a student scholarship at the University of Hartford, right?
Oh, okay.
While pursuing, my academics and then also, playing sports as a Division I student athlete. A lot of injuries, my first
tearing
year.
yourself apart.
Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
So I lost my scholarship my first year.
Oh,
And
whoa.
I was the first, to come here. So I didn't have much.
You're
family.
playing what? So, sports, soccer?
Soccer.
Yeah, okay.
So I first
Some fool kicked you in the shin and did it in, right?
man from preseason, I couldn't preseason, a lot of injuries, and when you're a full scholarship athlete, they want you to be out there,
All the time,
day in day out, right?
Right. Be that machine that they think that they can run.
Producing. So I went all the way to Oklahoma at a Division II college, because again, I can't go back home because probably understand the circumstances.
Of course. A few things. I'm from the Caribbean myself. First thing you probably had to. I'm from the West Indies myself, I should say. I don't want to know. I'm from the Caribbean. This West Indies garbage.
We're all Caribbean in here.
Yeah. No, it's just like colonialism says Caribbean.
I know.
I mean, say West Indies. Let's
right.
Let's stay focused. But anyway, so you were playing. You came here. You lost your scholarship due to injury. Of course, you can't go back home because now you got to go back and tell everybody back home.
You understand?
Yeah, man.
I messed it all up.
Messed it all up. And then they don't. And being a true Jamaican back home is like
disappointment.
You couldn't use some Bengay on that cut.
Yeah. Listen, you spot on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I went to Oklahoma, and that was like talk about culture shock. Like, coming to the United States on my own was a culture shock. But think about going to Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
How
old were you when you came?
I came here when I was 20.
Yeah, but he's still a young man. I got here when I was 11, and I went through culture shock.
Yeah.
And then hell, I still go through culture shock.
Yeah, to this day.
To this day, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of experienced a little bit of what a lot of people talk about because when you're in Hartford, Connecticut, it's still a very Jamaican or Caribbean diaspora that's there. There's a lot of people in the cafeteria, the bus driver. Like when you go out in the city, you feel like even though you're far away from home, but you still feel at home.
Right.
But when you went to Oklahoma on my soccer team, I was like the only black individuals on my team.
I'm fully aware.
However,
I drove through Oklahoma once. Realized I said through. I drove through.
Yeah.
No, I was going to Texas. I just kept on moving.
No, but it was like a culture shock, man. And I grew up though. I grew up. I think I grew an extra layer of skin. Kind of again every opportunity that's given.
So tell me about that extra layer of skin, because that's real interesting. Here it is. You were still on a student visa.
Yeah, correct.
And so, which means you don't want to mess that up because you don't want to go back home.
Absolutely.
Needless to that, you got to go back home and tell people, "Oh, I messed it up because I slapped the hell out of this right racist."
Well, I did that at University of Hartford.
So, that's because he heard a lot of Jamaican accents around him. He thought he was back home. Nah, blood. Who you talk to?
Yeah, that happened actually in the game, man. And from there, it's. Again, I wasn't equipped, I've never gone anywhere besides, in the Caribbean. So,
right. Okay.
Coming over here, like I said, it was a huge adjustment. I didn't have family members, so.
Right.
You
knew no one here.
That I really knew of, no.
Wow.
I built relationships when I came here.
So, well, you didn't even have like a cousin or aunt or something in Brooklyn that you could have.
None of that.
It's a good thing though. No, that's a good thing because that's where you would have went.
I'll tell you this, after the fact, because being on the phone or, I think we were using Skype back then, it's still different. You need that when you're going through your hardships.
Right.
People think you get a full scholarship, so, your meal is paid for. You still got to buy toothpaste. You still got to buy, the basic necessities. They don't provide those things. So you can't really work when you're a student athlete.
If I could just sidebar 1 second. Shout outs to Emmanuel Baptist Missionary Church here in New Haven, Connecticut, where they collect these plastic bottles. That, we're going to talk about that in a second. They collect the bottles, they return them, and the funds that they get from it. Now, you don't even have to be a member of the church. They'll send to kids in college for those very care packages.
Okay.
They'll send them they used to be care packages, but then that became expensive with shipping. So it was best just to send gift cards. So you could buy this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. And I would suggest to any churches out there that can hear my voice, you create a program as such. I don't think it needs to be some special program just done by one church when we have so many kids are in need when they go off to college.
Some of the foreign students coming from Africa, the Caribbean.
Exactly.
Even their talent might get there, the education might get there, but when you hear their background, it's really tough. Like my background was really tough, so I can't ask my parents, "Hey, mom, I need $100, I need $50." Like she don't have it. Like,
right.
So you gotta figure it out.
Right, and like you said, bare necessities. You were saying that you had a problem getting bare necessities, basic stuff.
Shoot, I remember when I first came here, all I came here with. Really, they used to laugh. I just had short pants, colorful pants, my V-neck shirts, and then I remember I was doing Harlem Shake on campus.
Oh, it'd be so cold.
I remember one day the bus driver pulled up like, "Yo, Necas, you good?" I was just like, "Yeah, I'm good." He's just like, "Yo, you don't look good, man. Come here." And I remember that day, his name was Robbie Earl. He brought me to a Burlington coat factory and bought me like a regular coat that I could, cause you don't want to wear when you're going out, you don't want to wear like the school provided red jacket, big jacket. You're going out, you need something,
Yeah.
And he brought me to Burlington Coat Factory, man, and bought me my first pair of jacket in the United States, So just little
was he
stuff
Yardie
like
or was he from?
He's a Yardie.
Oh, that's what's up.
So
he understood.
He drove the bus on campus. Like, "Yo, bro, it's all good, man."
Yeah.
You know that pride thing.
Right.
Like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a good one."
Yeah.
Just like, nah, hop in the bus. I got 30 minutes. Let's run over to Burlington Coat Factory.
That's what's up.
Get you a jacket real quick.
That's
to this day, it's still family to me.
Right.
To this day.
And that's real. So you went out to Oklahoma. Continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, but with Oklahoma, it was like I said, different, and just being around people that don't look like you, don't talk like you. And you have to have a different, like I said, layer of skin. To have that level of confidence. One, like I could have a friend. Like I remember he was from South Africa, but he's white. And people, you will go out and people will still be like, they'll judge you for every little actions that you do.
Right.
Remember talking to my uncle, and he was just like, because sometimes it'd be very frustrating. We're talking to my uncle, and he was just like, listen to me, kid.
I needed just to come in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, yo, listen to me, kid. Like, this is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, what do you mean? And he's just like, think about it. Like, you're already under a microscope.
Right.
So everything you do, you're gonna shine as long as you do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So just like bottle all of that passion and make sure you put it in your academics, make sure you put it on the soccer field, leave it out there, and that alone is gonna take you to higher heights. While I was at Roger State University, I was able to accomplish a lot of dope stuff. I won a Washington Center internship for DC for three months. I was in DC, paid for, getting federal level access. I did some internships over there. First student athlete, first Black individual to accomplish that.
There
You know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? So through my adversity, I was able to
Right.
dig deep and
Right.
accomplish a lot. Graduating and all that stuff too.
Like I said, necessity is the mother of invention. And the fact that you did not have that aunt or uncle in Brooklyn, no, I'm dead serious. That pushed you because it was about survival. And on top of the survival, you had your own pride. And I'm just speaking here from what I believe, okay? You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your pride also told you that, and sometimes pride is a good thing,
Yeah.
It told you that, you're here and I'm not going back home with the big F on my back.
Right,
Failing,
right.
You wanted to go forward and you wanted to show that you did something with this opportunity you got. You ended up going to DC. Continue.
Yeah, no, in DC, I really excelled. And that's kind of like what kind of prepared me, opened my eyes. So this was out of the academic realm. So now you're in the work field, right, at the highest level, and the exposure that you're getting. But I immediately realized, I remember my first time in DC, there was me and another kid from.
Around what year was this?
So 11, 12, I would say probably like around 13, 14.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, 2013, 2014.
Okay.
And me and another young man from Florida State University were the two only Black kid in our program. We were doing a federal internship for the state,
Of
the
Florida?
Senate court. So no, we're in DC.
Oh, okay. For the State Department.
State Department.
Okay,
I
go
remember Montgomery court. I think we were, but for everything we had to earn, people automatically assume that other students were already ahead of the game. So you had to
Right.
do the little things. So I was just like, hey, do you need help with those boxes to take them to the court?
Mhm.
Do you need me to run and get those files? And when they see your work ethic, they start inviting you on certain teams. They start inviting you in certain cases.
Right.
And then you immediately start surpassing because again, they're chilling.
Right,
This
right.
is just for me, I'm looking like I have to take this and run with it.
Right.
And by the time I left, you getting a lot of publicity, newspaper article like, Roger State University student excelling amongst Ivy League students, publications that's on there online,
Oh,
so,
okay.
So
Right.
that's, I pride myself on that.
And you should.
I pride
And
myself
rightfully
on that,
so. And let no one make you feel like you shouldn't be proud of what you've done.
Yes, sir.
You put in the work. No, you put in the work. But here's the one trap that I would suggest that we be mindful of coming from the Caribbean. Although you came in and you pull up yourself, you did all this stuff. Be mindful of those who are here and still struggle.
Right.
Especially people. I'm speaking of those here, people of color.
Mhm.
Whether you are American, whether you're from a different space, because not everyone, we're not built like robots. So you may excel with something because certain things are in you. Don't expect that in someone else.
Listen, I had to learn that. Yeah, my wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, shout out to my wife, man.
Is she from the islands as well?
Her parents are.
Oh, okay.
But she would always, try to dumb it down for me because for
Yeah.
me, I always have a thing, even in corporate world, I was just say I never understood how somebody could come into work and clock in for 8 hours and not clock in,
Mhm.
if you know what I mean.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're chilling on the
Right.
job, right?
Mhm.
If I'm here for 8 hours, I'm gonna make the most of my 8 hours or 9 hours. I'm gonna make it most of it. So I never understood that. So even as a manager, I was always go hard.
Mhm.
But over time, she helped me to understand. Like, listen, everyone is different.
Right.
Everyone's threshold is different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone
And
is
it's not making
different.
excuses for people.
You
It's
just must read
understanding life.
It's life.
Right. Exactly.
So it took me some time to learn those things, and I'm a student. I'm a life learner.
Let me fill you in on something. I came to this country. I used to sit on a board here of a Caribbean board, and I heard someone sat there and try to set, and someone from the islands, by the way, said to me that we're West Indians and we're so different, and white America don't treat us. I'm not about pause. I had to stop them and interrupt them, and help them understand. You might think that you're different from Black Americans, But when Joe Redneck see you out here, Joe Redneck don't see you. If Joe Redneck see you and 3 black Americans, he's not gonna say there goes those 3 niggas in that West Indian.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 niggas.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna start off from the viewpoint. It isn't until you do like what you did, take initiative, and might step out and do other things.
Correct. Yeah.
But then you realize, goes back to what we originally started on. Not everyone is built the same. There are reasons why Black America may not want to do just pay, hey, you need a hand to do that. There may be a lot of stuff in his foundational years that prohibit him from doing it mentally.
Right.
So we have to be mindful of that. And I'm glad that you're in that space now, because as an entrepreneur, as a Black entrepreneur in particular, we have to be mindful of that.
Right.
And especially those who are driven like us. Hell, look at this. I did this all on my own. I could say that. You see, that's another trick. Oh, I did this all on my own. No. We all get help somewhere.
Yeah, supporting cast, man.
Like the guy who gave you the coat.
Yeah.
You didn't get out the cold on your own. You understand what I'm saying? And that helped you, that when you did get help, you were able to advance on to something else. And we have to be mindful of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I say for me too, like, and this is one of my biggest blessing, I say, throughout life is like, God has been good to me where every step of my life where I've been like vulnerable or needed that extra support, or there was somebody there.
There you go.
And like, say for instance, I remember when I got the scholarship in Oklahoma, we couldn't even find the necessary funds to even buy a ticket or get me ready to go back to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to my dad and was like, bro, do you know anybody in America that I can connect with, And he told me, well, not really, but I have a cousin somewhere in White Plains. I have him, link up with you. Remember linking up with my dad's cousin. And he just like, listen, kid, I'm not the one that really have it like that, but I'll bring you over to the family members that can help you out.
Right.
And he brought me to the family members, and I remember they embraced me with open arms, man, and they legit like took me in for the next 3 years of my college career.
Nice.
On breaks, they'll fly me.
Don't ever forget that. No matter how high you climb.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget those ring on the ladders that help you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We often tend to think, look, you look around here, this is all my craft. I crafted all this, that. But someone along the line helped me. Let's not get it twisted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stupid. Bill Gates have someone along the line helping him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Okay.
Little things, yeah.
Jeff Bezos have someone along the line. Elon Musk, they got people who are helping them consistently, daily, to keep them as wealthy as they are.
Right.
They tend to forget it. I'm not saying Jeff Bezos do, but Musk, he sure shows like if he does, sidebar. But but the thing is, don't ever get past. I'll always remember when Barack Obama said, "Whatever you have, you didn't get it on your own. Somebody helped you." And I remember how hard that was for someone who had owned an insurance and mortgage company at the time. How hard it was for them to understand that, and came and how could he say this? And I had to say, well, I know who helped you get started, and I mentioned the name. He goes, Joe, but then I did it on I feel myself. Yeah, but how many other people had that person?
That support
to help you advance. And that's an Italian brother. Sometimes you got to get people grounded.
Yeah.
But he got help within ranks. I knew it. He knew it. So people tend to forget things. And it's easy for them to just say, oh, I did this all on my own. Because our egos, we all got egos. You just got to know when to put them in check. Speaking right here with my man, Necas Collins. He is the president of Blacc Bottle, environmental friendly business. Tell me more about the business. How did you what made you get into this environmental thing? Or what you scoped the opportunity? Let me get for that.
Yeah, so
how did that come about?
Again, like I mentioned, being a student in the business department at University of Bridgeport, part of my project was to develop business, right? And then so I met one of my professors, and she was just, I created this business called Mula Investment Group, which is a financial platform to trade commodities in the Caribbean. And it was a very complex model. Like, you got to go to a lot of regulation with SEC. And I remember I had time was winding down to complete the assignment, and I was just like, Professor, listen, I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing and do one of these basic case study, like a food truck or something like my classmates are doing, like you Google or pay somebody to get, because this model right here is a passion of mine, but it's too complex to do it in a 3-4 months time span. She's like, listen, you're not stopping it. I love it. This is gonna be revolutionary. Keep going with it. I was like, are you sure? There's certain components of it that's not gonna be readily done. And she's just like, it's fine, just do it. And just connecting with her, and she kind of tutored me throughout the process, and I just fell in love with entrepreneurship as a whole. We launched, a storefront in Jamaica. We bought cattle in Jamaica. We were doing pilots in Jamaica. And she was getting me prepared and, talking to investors, and it was just like such an amazing thing. I started a podcast because I was like, it was so hard for me to gain access to the necessary resources to do all of this. If it wasn't for the support of my professor and her network, it would have been like very hard, right? So I started a podcast to share a lot of the tools that I was learning, about like just basic stuff that I feel like just Black people in general, or minority people in general that need to know the foundational stuff. And again, my background is in finance. So we started a financial podcast called Black Screen Finances, where we're legit just teaching the basics, elements of financing, investing and stuff like that.
Do you still do that?
Again, we had to pivot, right? Because when we were doing it, 2020 hit, and then we saw like a lot of the social stuff that was going around with George Floyd and all that stuff. And we're just like, I think a lot of people are missing it, like the basic element at times. When I've been in some of like Oklahoma, I have some of my closest friends who are white, right? But at the same time, what we have to understand is like when you strip away, like you get to know somebody, you end up, those people have like share certain commonalities, you grow up, you get grounded from that level. It's basic, and that's part of the brand, right? It's basic love, authentic, genuine love, that you care about somebody. And sometimes you don't even care what their color of skin look like, because that's your brother. You know what I mean? And I've seen that firsthand. And I wanted to say, like, how can we deliver a message of people just coming together? Hence the birth of, Blacc Bottle. And I do a lot of research because I'm very, if in our community, everybody got a t-shirt company. Everybody got a hat company.
Right.
But I like being different.
Right.
I like being different.
I give you this. A streaming platform, a broadcasting on. Let's start off as an independent radio company.
Yeah.
Online. We became a streaming company as we went on, but we'll talk about that some other time. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I looked at that. We did our research, and we look at it like, how can we transport our message, where people leverage our product on a daily basis? We like two things. Everybody we know have a t-shirt company, have a clothing brand. We don't want to do that. We want to be different. Then we look at it and we said, okay, now we have I did some research and I came across, a lady that had a drinkware company. Drinkware. So it's like she did like detoxing water. So you can put like teas in the thing and you can pour the water.
Right.
But she was a millionaire off that. I'm like, Oprah Winfrey got a wind of it, and this is one of her top things to do. And Australian lady, as she blow up, I started doing more research. Where did she get her product from? How much she mark it up for? And I'm just like, okay. And I started doing research. Is there any, minorities within this space? I see Asians. I see white. And they dominate. They're all over, multi-million dollar companies in a short period of time. Okay, why is no minorities operating within this space? We're going to change that.
Right.
And that was the birth. But again, for me, if you heard what I said earlier, Mula. Mula, it means money in Spanish.
Yep.
But I was trading cattle, so you would be able to purchase a cattle on my mobile application, and I had the farms and the farmers in Jamaica to raise the cow for you. Once we process the cattle, you get your profit, the farmer get his profit, and my company will get the profit. So again, it's play on words. I love acronyms and play on words, creativity, right? So now I came up with Blacc Bottle. So if you notice, all my bottles are black.
Right.
People will see it, and just by the basic, they'll say, "Oh, Blacc Bottle because it's black." But now once you dive into it, there's meaning behind it. So Blacc means bona fide love, advancing culture change. So that's why it's 2 C's versus a K at the end.
Right.
So it's a play on words,
Okay.
and it's really just kind of empowering people saying, hey, bona fide, genuine, authentic love can advance culture change. Because here's one thing that I noticed while I was in America. When I'm...
You're still here?
Yeah, while I'm in America.
If you could just grab one of his bottles over there, I'll kill it, please.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed is like every time I go in a room where there's a lot of minorities or black individuals, you got to work twice as hard to break the ice, right? When I go around, individuals, whether it's genuine or not, everyone is friendly and welcoming. Whether it's genuine or not.
Okay.
Remember, and that's the key thing. You can say, "Hey, what's up, man?" Whether it's genuine or not, everybody's inviting and welcoming. And I can speak on my experiences,
How long you been here now?
So I'm going on 11 years.
11 years, okay. I've been here 48.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can tell you, look, it's all good. Look, U.S. Race relations in our country, it's a challenge, and it's we could go on and on. Hell, I could have 16 shows on this week on race relations. It's so there's so many different angles on race relations. Hell, like I said, we could go on and on about it. I am I have white brothers and sisters that are real close with me. That evolved over time of knowing people and knowing that I'm not just one of your mascots, or I'm not a mascot to you, and you see me as an individual. You see me as who I really am, a human being. You see me as a black man. It's very important to me. No, it's like, I'll tell you like it is. Look, I was married in, and I'll tell you right now, I've been out there in white America. And I'll tell you, my neighbors in white America, in deep white America, I mean, affluent neighborhood of all hell. And yeah, but the respect I got from many of them came from me helping them understand that I'm a true black man. I'll give you a girl a little illustration. I was walking around. No need to get into where it was, but it's a nice neighborhood, a very great neighborhood. Where you walk around the marsh, and it's a common thing. Walk by people, you say hi, how you doing? This couple walking towards my son and I at the time, not that son, his brother. He was, I would say, no more than 5-6 years old, and we're walking around, and individual and his wife walking towards us and said, "Hi, how are you?" Looked me dead in my face like I'm looking at you, and didn't say a darn word, and just kept on walking. Oh, okay, I stopped and I said, "See that, son? You can't buy class.
Right.
It's either you have it or you don't."
Right.
Oh, they heard that, but they didn't hear "how you doing" while you look at me right in my face. But you heard that one. Oh, I helped land that plane for him real quick. He said, and my neighbors, oh, that's a thing around the neighborhood for a while. They were like, "Oh, you don't want to go by him with that. If he speak. I'll call people. I spoke to you and you didn't want to, are we speaking now?" Because some people see you as a mascot.
Yeah.
And you got to be mindful of that.
I'll tell you this, like, and again, while I was in Oklahoma, again, man, I got to go back to that. Like, I saw a lot of that, in terms of like, you have to always prove your worth, and then not only that, even when you do it, it's just that you're still less than. I've definitely seen that before. But what I mean, like for me, what I wanted to bring is like that welcoming. Like say for instance, we go right now, we go on a certain street, right, and we're walking. Depending on where you are at, I personally, what I would like and what my company and what my brand represent is like the same way you just saw me at a trade show, say, "Young man, I love what you're doing. I want to invite you to my program to amplify what you're doing." Like I want that genuine love where we can see and embrace each other. I say that's a struggle. I don't know if you would agree with me, where in terms of us embracing each other, not other cultures, but just us embracing each other and being more welcoming to each other.
I want you to be mindful of that too, because other races, they hate each other. Trust me. They're venomous to each other too. They're highly venomous to each other. That's why when it comes to us, it's like, oh, just one more lower ring on the ladder, I could be nasty too. Trust. I'm telling you, I've been involved. Look, I've been here in this country, like I told you, 48 years. I grew up here. I know what this thing is all about. And I can tell you, look, I'm not telling you that all white people are bad. Oh, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to tell you that you're not going to get support from white people. Oh, hell, Christ. That'll be the last thing I'll tell you. One of my best friends is literally, I call it my brother, his kids are like my nieces. We're that connected. You know, he sees himself as my brother, and we just have that strong link.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go to the end of the earth for him. There's an individual who, I mean, in the darkest time of my life, was there,
right,
and still stands strong. Long after the darkness is even, if it's lifted, he's don't care. I'm there for you. White. And as a matter of fact, everyone around me, they'll say, oh, I trust him because he's so goddamn good with you. And I'm like, well, this is the way he is with me. Feel for yourself.
Right.
This is our relationship.
And everyone's relationship is different.
Exactly. Now, I know some people who are like real cool. He's different. But I know people who are real cool with me. Real cool with me. But bring them around other blacks. Like they don't know you and you have dark complexion, man. You're an automatic threat. And and it's sometimes I don't even think it's because they want to. I think it's because they're so indoctrinated to think of a black person, especially a black male, as a threat. When you're a strong black man, you stand strong, you stand firm. I'll tell you right now. See, I don't have a problem with walking up to people and just saying, how you doing? What's up? Like how I met you.
Right. Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a problem with doing that. But if you have a brother who will stand back and wait for you to approach, you're a threat. I know that.
Right.
So knowing that, I'm always with that in mind of how I'm dealing with certain folks. Now, some people they're just, like I said, indoctrinated.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, the way how our society is, it happens.
Right.
Blacc Bottle, environmental conscious.
Right.
This is where, well, hold up one of the bottles to the camera there, Kenny. Yeah.
I'm not sure which camera.
Right there in front of it. Okay. You could turn it sideways if you want. There we go. Blacc Bottle. You turn it the other way so they could read it.
Yeah, on the back of it too.
Oh, yeah, words. So let me take a look at it. What's up? Oh, I almost dropped it. Oh, you got something in here.
Yeah, I got some
Booze?
water.
No, in the back of it, it says, "Just smart. Find yourself. Surprise yourself. Rise above all odds. It's your time to shine. Seize the moment." Okay. And what is that? St. Louis?
No, so that's a engraving of a name. Which is? We did a partnership with a basketball team.
That's another thing I definitely want to get with you on. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we did a partnership with a basketball team, and then we that was one of the ones that we didn't want to dispose of, so I just kind of held on to it as my move around bottle.
Oh, that's real cool. Now the thing about I'm gonna let you hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me of a missile or something in the military. It just got a little weight in it. You put a little water in there, man. It was like, what's the weight when you have first of all, how many fluid ounces?
Yeah, so this is 25 ounces.
25 ounces. Okay, 25 fluid ounces in this. And the weight, is that full right now? Or is it close? It's full right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can't run with something like that.
No, and we're in process of designing. So we're working with Peer, the Peer College Design School, right now to design our Blacc Bottle 2.0. So that's in the works.
Okay.
We have some other partnerships that we're excited about. That's coming up as well.
Cool.
We're broker. Yeah, we get into that.
Let's talk about these partnerships that you have, because I was surprised when I look online and I saw you had NBA logos on there. How you got those licenses, man?
Relationships, so for us.
So this is not a bootleg deal.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Come on, man. Let me ask. Listen, black man gotta ask because gotta make sure.
Now,
No,
yes,
no,
so
because
it's a very
I'm
unique
quite
structure.
sure there are people who are going to see that and think they could just follow it and put it out there on their stuff
Mm.
and a logo.
I tell you
stuff.
what, like
So let's highlight.
it's very, very, very strict.
Oh, I know.
In a process that we have to go through. They're very protective
Right.
of their brand, very selective, not just protective, very, very selective, right? And for us, we're in terms of like the space that we are operating in, you see like the Nike, the Adidas, you know, there's other drinkware company like Simple Modern that has NBA team logos on it, right? So for us, we're not in that you could like that revenue bracket yet. So for us, there's a company by the name of NBA Lab.
Okay, that's a distribution. Don't give out the details.
yeah,
of your business.
and it's not even that. It's a collaboration lab, and again, it goes by the same process where for the NBA Lab, they're an incubator where you can go in. They select brands that are up and coming. They're out of Bridgeport, Connecticut as well, right? They select brands that are up and coming, and what they do is they partner with these brands that help give you the necessary exposure. But they're very selective again. Like if we're a drinkware company that's in that program, it's very hard for somebody else to get into that program. Very, very, very selective. And you got to sign off on it. So it's a very thorough process that you go. A lot of people get denied from applying and just getting rejected. So again, our proposition when we first did the pitch, we didn't get through. The VP of the brand just loved the message. He loved the sleekness of the brand and what it stood for. I felt like based on the NBA, this is something that can really represent. Right. And they said, now we have a lot of drinkware company already. We're not trying to partner with them or give them that access to our IP. And he went back again like, listen, these guys, they're solid. I met them. I love what they stand for. I love the vision. And I think this would be a good partnership for the NBA, And they came back and said, you know what? Let's give them a shot.
Okay. Now, do you deliver your bottles at the different game facility, different stadiums?
And again, like I said earlier, like it's a very detailed process, right? So interesting enough, we recently learned that even for some stadiums, they don't even own their own concession stands.
Correct.
They don't own their own apparel stores.
Right. The team don't.
Right. The team don't. Right. Correct. And then we just started learning that. We're in the partnership with schools, and we just learned that Barnes and Noble own majority of the bookstores on campus. Right. So you got to go to a different entity, in order to even get the relationship to sell your product on the campus that you're marketing their product. Right. So these are a lot of stuff that we're learning as we go. So back to the NBA. So in order to get into a stadium, every team got their own, people that you got to go through. So and it's a very diligent process that you have to go through.
Like for example, if you want to go to the Barclays Center, you have to go through the bank entity itself. You have to go through the ownership of the center itself, of the facility.
No, so the owner, the people that represent the store, the store within that arena.
Oh, okay. There's an owner of the arena. There's the company that represents, and then there's the stores that's separate within the arena. Correct. Which, like for example, if Coca-Cola want to be in there, they have their own store.
Correct. Okay, just like think about a plaza.
Right.
That's the analogy that you have a plaza and you just rent out the space, the real estate.
Right.
You invite different people to come in.
And the draw is the actual team.
And the draw is the team and traffic.
Right.
But
the traffic comes with the team itself. Yeah, they're following the team that they like.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So some arenas you see like even I think for the Magic Square Garden is like almost 21,000 people. So and they have multiple events within that. The hockey, you have the basketball, you have actual concerts.
And then there's different spaces in Madison Square Garden.
Right. So for us, and one of the challenges that we have, again, it goes back to just being a minority-owned business, is the lack of access to capital. We have all these partnerships, but in order to access capital, and I can tell you, like, I have people on my team from an advisory standpoint where we're very detailed in terms of how we go about our financials or preparing our stuff. We have very high-level people that has VC experience that have grew and sold businesses, hearing from the Yale, organization, and it's still a process.
Do you know? I got a name for you. I got a name for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk with this person. You probably met him already, but I'll connect.
Yeah.
No, I really and truly do like what it is. I'm talking about Necas Collins. Did I say your name right, man?
Yeah, Necas Collins.
Necas.
Yeah, Necas
Okay.
Collins.
And that's the thing about Caribbeans. We don't care about if you say Necas or Necas. We're like, all right, man. So what? He's trying. You gotta be exact. You come into different spaces and they have to be exact. Tell me about your partners. There's Ralph White and there's
Delano Bennett.
That's Ralph White is the vice president.
Yes, sir.
And he is from Italy.
Yeah, so he was born in Italy from Jamaican parents, and they migrated to the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, but he identified mostly with his Jamaican roots, of course.
Oh, okay, right. Is that who I met at the Black Expo?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you have Delano Bennett, similar to myself, came from Jamaica and came over here as a.
So we're talking about three yachties up here doing things.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you guys meet?
So Ralph is interesting. I remember the first day we met in the corporate space, right? Mm-hmm. So when I graduated college, Ralph already was at that job, and when I came in, I met him, and he was immediately like he embraced me. Yeah. I remember like he had a book of notes, and he was just like, "Listen, man, I give you my book, take it home, copy it if you want to, but just make sure I get my book back."
Right. Was this in the financial space?
No, so this is a telecommunications space.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
you don't got to get the details.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So it's a telecommunications space, and from then, his work ethic was unmatched. They had to try to send this dude work 7 days a week, and open or close, and you have to like push him out the building like, yo, you're not getting no overtime. So that was his work ethic, right? Mm-hmm. And then Delano's probably like one of the most genuine, loving person that you will find, very caring person, just a social butterfly, man. And that's kind of like how we kind of grew together within that telecommunications space. So once I started venturing out, like I have a book of ideas, I still have more things to come,
Great. I would expect that from you too. Yeah. You just have that whole, well, you're not locked in on one thing. You're locked in on business.
Business, man. Business is a system. And for me, I'm taking every opportunity to learn as much. And then a lot of it, like most people say, 90% of it is transferable. Mm-hmm. Once you learn the system, the mechanics of how it works, right? Mm-hmm. You still got to. I'm pretty sure you still got to learn your market. You still got to learn your. So you got to learn. A lot of it is the same,
right?
Know? So,
and as an entrepreneur, it behooves you to learn this stuff and don't just try to rely, especially as a person of color, because you don't know what might fall.
Listen, and that's what, and even for me, like that's one of my end goal. My end goal is to once I become, successful with my brands, right? Become a household name, which I feel like we are on the verge of doing that. The goal is to help, man, and then also because I have the experience.
In which way? So
for me, like I look at it from this, like I go to a lot of like cohorts, incubator, accelerators, right? And what I'll say is, there's certain businesses, a lot of the minority businesses, they lack certain, like the foundation of business itself. The key elements that you need to know. Make sure you know your forecasting. Make sure you know your financial statements are put together. Make sure your business plan. You know what I'm saying? And we're very creative. That's what I've learned. Everyone are creative. They can cook well. You know. So let me just open a restaurant. But again, you didn't go to your business plan. You didn't do your survey for your audience. You didn't look at the demographic of where you're putting it to make sure you're catering for the different folks that are going to be coming to your. You have to do all your industry analysis. You have to do your marketing and analysis. You got to put your SWOTs together. You got to put your competitor analysis. You got to put all that together so you know.
Oh, this new business mentality, man. There's an open a shop.
Yeah, and that's why you contribute to that high number of businesses that close down so fast.
Right.
A lot of people look at us. They're like, "Yo, you just selling one bottle. You just a bottle. What's so special about this bottle?" We get that a lot, but the thing is, it's different.
Who's saying that?
I think a lot of people will say that. And here's what I say is like, if you look about how we approach our business, right? It's just like, if you look at the back end, like we make sure we put so much time and effort to make sure that the foundation of our business. So when I come to you and I'm speaking, I already know I know everything about for the most part, about my industry. Like I know about my fight, I try to make sure I have a relationship. I secure myself with advisors. Like, so now when I go out, it becomes a lot easier for people to take me serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that plays a huge role. When people hear that you are knowledgeable of certain things, they're always willing to work with you a lot faster than if they they feel like, oh, if I work with this person, I'm either going to lose time, energy, or money. You know, so yeah.
So when you ask the question of how I want to help, so for me, just being in the space that I'm in, I would love to be like not somebody just talking it or went to school for it because I have the academic accomplishments, right?
Right.
But I've lived this, you know, and I do this, and I sincerely want to see people advance. I tell you one stuff, you know, that bugs me out a lot, right? In this space of us growing here, especially like here in Connecticut, like we just encountered the BBA, but besides the BBA, majority of the individuals that help us, you know, is not people that look like me. And then oftentimes when we get into that space, it's not authentic or genuine. Just like this, they give you that they sell you like, oh yeah. And then, you know, when you look at it when it's time to deliver, it's just like, yeah. And for me, like, if you look at even like our board of advisors, people that like really like just owning like, yo, we want to try to get you guys to the next level. And we're very diligent in those processes as well. Majority of those people are not individual, you know, and trust and believe that I've approached individuals to say, listen, you know, this is where we're at. Because I'm very honest and transparent. You know, I'm not going to sell individuals on a bill of goods, you know, so I'm not going to oversell, you know, and then under-deliver. I try my best not to do that, right?
Better undersell and
over-deliver. That's one of my concepts, right? And, you know, the BBA, we just met with them in Black Business Alliance, and, you know, we have a guy, you know, Jim, that's been phenomenal as an advisor, been supporting us along the way. But besides that, we don't really find a lot of tremendous people like buying in. People just started buying in now because we're getting a little bit of buzz.
Well, two things. One, our community look for buzz. Yeah, okay. You know, I know the Black community. The response to buzz. Now, that could be part of one of our race issues. Oh, trust me. That is a huge part.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could point you to the direction where you can do the research yourself and you will realize why it's so.
Okay.
Another part of it is, like you said, just open up a space and don't do the details on it.
That's major.
So because, like you said, we're creative people, we'll respond quickly to the buzz because the buzz has creativity. We could see the creativity in the buzz. But to get some people to see beyond the buzz and to see, it is such a struggle. A great example, when I opened this space, this thing was called, I had a little 400 square foot space that I opened up on State Street. It was called Ugly Radio. And we only played independent hip hop and R&B. Only. Throughout all over the country, all over the world. We're playing music there. I could get off the plane in England. I could get off the plane in Italy. I could get off the plane in Germany. I could go to hotel desk and people will know of Ugly Radio.
Yeah.
But yet I'll have people right here in New Haven who never heard of it. And I'm like, okay. And they're rappers. Okay.
It's interesting that you say that. I remember I was at an event last night, and one of the hosts of the event, it was a big moment, you know, in their success that they brought somebody from out of the city. They came in, financial, you know, giant within their community. And, you know, they were just like people from all over Seattle, Maine that were showed up. And when you canvassed the room, New York, and there's not a lot of people from Bridgeport or even Connecticut in general that was in the room. So they were like bugged out, like, yo, look at us doing something special. Trying to break barriers, trying to bring a little, like I say, you know, attention and notoriety within this space, and people still don't show up. And I'm like, my feedback was like, listen, two things that I give, right? You know, because I try to find I spend time on solutions, you know what I mean, not problems, right? So I was just like, two things that I'll give you. And again, whatever you guys want to do with it, but this is what I want to inject in this conversation is there's a reason why when you go to a horse race, the horses, they have blinders on. You know?
Yes.
You know, so, and I was just like, there's a reason. So when they're running their race, right?
Left and right
They minimize their distraction, they focus on the goal. People from your immediate community not showing up. You spending your breath right now discussing that, like you're getting distracted, put your blinders on. You've accomplished something major tonight. Run with the people that's in this room, make that network, and now you're expanding, right? And just keep the momentum going. They will join. You get me?
I know exactly what you're talking about, brother.
So
a lot of it, I even say amen to.
And the second thing that I'll say too is focus on the process, man, not the results.
Mm-hmm.
And for my business, there's days we go, especially with our team, it's deflating because we know how much time. Sometimes we go to our bed 2, 3 o'clock, things that people don't see or understand.
Mm-hmm.
And consistently, like, we're burned out just making sure that we put the time in. Because again, we have our full-time jobs, we have family, and we got to make sure we have deliverables. We have deadlines, and we have high-level people that we're partnering with. So we got to make sure we come correct. There's no excuses in that space.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find the time, so we got to make time.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at it like, and you don't sell a bottle today. You don't sell a bottle the next day. Like, you can be like, yo, this is not worth it. But guess what? We are in love with the process, not the results. Because again, when you're in love with the process, you're growing, you're learning, and then you see the results come. But when you get so enamored with the results, you don't even get to own in on the process. And then for me, again, and I love the fact that you even acknowledge it yourself. Like, Blacc Bottle is like my first main project coming up. My goal is to learn business so well that I can come in here, there, and I can dissect it and add value.
I can definitely see that's what you're about. You're about understanding business, and the fact that Blacc Bottle. Let me, if I can speak here, I got water in my mouth. But Blacc Bottle for you, from what I understood, is you wanted to respond to a specific time, and you also wanted to respond to something that was not in our community,
right?
And you followed up. There goes Oprah. She will push. Anyway, that's another story. But you realized someone from Australia. It was
Australia. Several people, even the owner for another prominent drinkware company. Again, Oprah Winfrey. She's she got the Oprah effect, they call it, right? Mm-hmm. She saw her, she sent her a bottle, and she just like sent me 6 different colors, and then she took some time because she wasn't at that space yet. Mm-hmm. She got them, made and whatnot, and sent it to her, and then she got the Oprah effect. The notoriety that she got from that. She, again, she sold almost like $100 million within the next 2 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's from going from knocking on doors trying to get people to let her in.
But that's the thing, listen, man. The way business work, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
In love with the process.
Exactly. And from the minute you understand that, look, maybe sometimes you look around and say, why am I doing this? I'm not really making something. But always remember, making something is not always the dollars. It could also be the difference.
Right.
Making something is not always making the dollars. It can also be making a difference. And I know in this space that I'm in, I remember there are times that I was just like, but I knew
it's the human in you,
Yeah, exactly.
It's the human.
But I know how many people of color run or in that space own a media company.
Let's go.
That's a reality. How many people of color own a media company? How many people of color actually run a media company?
This is salute, man.
Can make some serious decisions. Make the final call is on them. Mm-hmm. I don't know too many, if any at all. Mm-hmm. We have here a show that is Game Point, for example.
Yeah, I know Game Point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did some research on that. Yeah.
Okay. Game Point is these young men. They only cover high school sports.
Yeah.
Now there you go. And these individuals, they find themselves doing something that they didn't invent the internet. They didn't invent cameras. They didn't invent the sport. They didn't invent anything, but they took what was already there and brought it to the forefront. Mm-hmm. The most important thing about all of that is that space was not available for them. I look at that and say, there's a need. Mm-hmm. There's a need to push our people forward. There's a young man who, they didn't even have media training, let alone certificates or some type of degree. But I knew their opportunity to even get that was very minimal.
And you see it in the industry today, man. I remember seeing like some guys who does podcasts, 2 black individuals signed a major contract the other day, like, And I'm looking at it like they don't have any media training. You know, a lot of the podcasters, you know, and again, because the viewership. You know, if you have the audience like
Well, here's my thing. I'd rather have 100 audience opposed to 100,000 audience. If my 100 audience are effective, are responsive. If I have 100,000 who's just gonna just look at my stuff and don't do a damn thing about what I'm talking about, give me my 100. Because my 100 becomes more effective. It's a higher value. And I understand, look.
It's conversion rate though.
Absolutely,
you know,
it's a conversion rate.
Because even if you have 100 followers, like, and this is what I've learned, like you can go out there and give, like I can go out there and give a whole bunch of people a bottle, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna drink the water.
Right. Correct.
They probably have it at home just chilling.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but again, the more individuals you can reach, that's the more probability, you know, of you actually touching somebody.
That's one way to look at it.
So
that's one way to look at it. But then the other way to look at it is the same way Rolls Royce look at it.
How's that?
I got quality, and I'm only making but so much, and my quality you're gonna want. You're gonna want it so damn good. I don't even gotta market it to you.
Yeah.
You're just gonna hear about the quality that I have.
Listen,
and it's reserved for the few.
When have you seen a Rolls Royce commercial?
Never.
Yeah, I never seen it.
Never.
And you never will.
You never will see that on
You
TV.
never will.
Unless you're in the club.
That's
or
right.
if you follow their page,
That's right.
you probably will see it, or go to the website. But you'll be like, when the Rolls Royce dropped this? I bet you half the people don't know that Rolls Royce has an all electric car.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah,
see, there you go.
All electric car.
Let me ask you though, they have to have a way of distributing their message though.
Oh, they do.
They have like, but it's not.
Oh, they do.
It's not mainstream. Because I look at it like,
Right.
you know, a lot of they have.
It goes back to the
they have like, you know, different
specific
that you have
quality
magazines.
over
Correct.
quantity.
Right. Quality
distribution,
over quantity.
I'm pretty sure
what
their
they're-
marketing strategy.
Oh, their marketing strategy, of course, is to Dun & Bradstreet.
Mhm.
Not Dun.
Not Dun.
What's the other one? DuPont.
Mhm.
That they'll market to high end for
Correct. Yeah.
You know that's what they do.
Yeah.
So my thing here is, but by the way, are the mechanics necessary? the better than a Honda mechanic?
No.
No.
Mm.
Are the engineer necessary better than they got BMW engines on them?
Yeah.
BMW advertised, but that's to the masses. Whereas Rolls Royce said, okay, fine, we'll take your engine. You got quality engine, we'll take that, put it in here. But this is what we do. There was a time, man, you drive a Rolls Royce, you couldn't even drive it more than 3 days a week without it breaking down. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
You know why the Brits don't make televisions?
Why is that?
They can't figure out a way to make it leak oil.
Oh.
I had a Range Rover. Damn thing dripped everywhere. I hated it. If I ever committed a crime, that thing would have had me arrested. Brand new. Didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
You got me.
No, but in business, it's about, you know, there's also another side of business where people don't buy product.
Mm-hmm.
People buy people.
People, yeah.
And if people see you having a certain quality, they'll buy into it a hell of a lot faster than they will the product.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the thing too. Like for us, we're very conscious about that. Like
That's why they got influencers.
that's what I was just about to say. Like you think about it, like why you think like you know for like the shoe store, the shoe company that they pay so much because again it's the people,
Right.
You know they're investing not necessarily like these people they're selling it you know by just having it, but at the same time it's the people,
Right.
and they're very strategic and they're very selective in terms of who they select. You know, so in that kind of born, like you said, the influencers, you know.
But look at and we're gonna wrap this in a few. But when you look at the likes of Jordan's sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this program, this company works with kids, work with young people. I remember we had a kid inside of here, and I said he was wearing Jordans. I'm like, yeah, Nike whores. He goes, Joe, why you trying to play me? I'm like, what? Why you trying to play me? I ain't wear no Nikes. I said, what are those? You know, Jordans. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Nike.
He's like, these are Jordans. These are Nike. And I'm like, are you serious right about now? That's the power of buying people.
Yeah.
Jordan's, of course, as you know, is Nike.
Mm-hmm.
It's built by Nike.
Yeah.
But he honestly thought it's a separate brand.
Separate brand on its own. Correct.
On its own.
Mm-hmm.
Because he bought the name. He bought the person.
Right.
They made them side by side in the same damn factory. Probably make them side by side in some Chinese factory somewhere. You know, it's like, come on, are you kidding me? Richard Knight is getting ready to come back automated here in the U.S. Lord help those. That's another story. Business is business. Listen, man, it is great coming in having you here. Necas Collins, man with the MBA in finance and analytics intelligence, which is huge. I wanted to touch base with you on that. For those of you who don't know what analytics intelligence is, like when you have your website and you have so much activity on it, it's breaking down that data in the background of what it means and make that number tell a story.
Making decisions, use that to impact and make decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I have someone here. That's what she does. Oh my God! And she's just she's a beast at it. But she knows my focus.
Mm-hmm.
Great having you on here, man. You're a great guest. It's good having you. We started a little late this evening. That's why we ran over. In case you're like, oh, they still on? Yes, we are. Still doing this. Necas Collins, Ralph White, and Delano Bennett. Did I say that right?
That's correct.
3 men from Jamaica by way of Italy and every other way possible. Blacc Bottle is the name of their company. Let them know where they can check out your product.
Yeah, so again, BLACC bottle. You know, you can find us at www.blackbottle.com, and you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, like Facebook at just Blacc Bottle.
There you go. What's amazing is it's a long story. It's a long story. Listen, it's great having you on. You can check them out at
and one thing I like to close out with too, like, you know, from an impact standpoint, you know, one of our core differentiators is not just the message in the product. For every 500 bottles that we sell, we sponsor youth. You know, we started that last year, so we just kind of, you know, wrapped up our
How do you sponsor the youth?
So there's 2 ways, and you know, it's continuously evolving. So last year when we did our first tours, a lot of stages of last year where we implemented the program, we took a young kid who was 14 years old. We helped him, gave him $500 to start his investment portfolio. Encourage his parents to also, you know, do small investment again, you know, in a custodial account, right? Again, because of the background of finance, we also helped him start his own clothing company. It's called Punctuation Clothing Brand. You know, at the 14, he's a CEO of his own company, and we'll take him out to event with us to teach him presentation, how to sell, how to connect. And then also the back end, you know, all those things that we go through, like how to run a business, not just print clothes, you know. So we, you know, taught him all of that at the age of 14. Punctuation Clothing, you can check him out. For this next student that we brought on is really just like mentoring, you know. And then also we just did a partnership with BCYL.
Which is
Bridgeport Youth Caribbean Leadership Program.
Okay.
They have like entrepreneurial program, which is a Yale program, and they just legit just help teach kids about business. So now once we, you know, identify our kids, you know, we're gonna help because we mentor in that program as well, and that's kind of how that partnership was formed. And we have the kids go there to learn, you know, business, and then also we're there to support and mentor them as well.
Speaking of my man Necas Collins, thank you very much for coming in. He is the man who kills it. He knows exactly what all he wants to do, and he's actually doing great things out here. Say hello to. By the way, I thought your business partners were going to be here with you as well, but it's okay that they didn't. You handle it.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right, good people. I got to tell you, stay connected. We'll keep it ugly.
Yes, sir.